to the NBA Finals in his first year as the head coach of the Boston Celtics.
Get a berth in the NBA Finals in your first year as a head coach. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's been a long road, obviously, throughout this season. Feels like it was always meant to be this way. Difficult, obviously, 2 Game 7s in the last 2 series, and shows what I said about our group, that we fought through a lot of adversity this year, a resilient group, and tonight seemed to kind of typify our season. And had a 17-point lead. We led start to finish, so that was good. We got off to a good start, but can't ever quite slam the door, but have to grind it out. And bottom line is, if we hold somebody in the 90s, we feel good about ourselves. So this is a typical Celtics win.
Ime, all year for you guys, it's over here. Defense, you pile up, I believe it was 11 stops on 14 shots there midway through the fourth. What do you just see in this group when they're rolling at their highest level defensively? And then on Al, him being around all these guys, Brown, Tatum, Smart already, what do you see about the way they just responded to his leadership? Like, what just works for him as a leader for these guys?
Yeah, first question, defense is our identity. It's been there and held us, got us through the tough times when the offense wasn't clicking. Games when the offense doesn't click to the level it should, we can always rely on that. And, that was the case tonight. Got big leads, dwindled it down, and we continued to get stops when we needed to, especially at the end. To your point, 11 out of 14 possessions. And so that's our identity. It's kind of what we hang our hat on. And when you look at our team across the board, very high-level defenders, first team, second team guy, defensive player of the year, all 5 starters getting a first-place vote. So they've all bought into that, and love them for that. Regarding Al, it's incredible what he's done all season. As I mentioned, came into training camp in extremely great shape, chip on his shoulder, prideful, wanted to come back to Boston, and for him to play 44 minutes, at this stage of his career and lay it all out there, guarding bigs, smalls, and everything in between. His leadership goes without saying. A vocal guy, but does a lot by example, and I think everybody kind of ties into him.
Two things, Ime. First, you talked the past couple of days about having belief you guys would come in here and play the way you needed to win. How impressed were you by the poise you guys showed throughout, the first 46 minutes or so to not, have the lapses mentally, the turnovers, the kind of stuff that's plagued you guys throughout this series?
Yeah, it was great. It was what we talked about the start of the game. We wanted to get off to a better start. Our magic number with turnovers has been 12 within the series. We got 13 tonight, and then kept them off the offensive glass. So all the little things that we talked about coming into it, we did really well, and that got us out to the lead. Played with extremely fast pace early, 13 in the first quarter and 20 for the game, fast break points. And so we kind of hit all the targets that we wanted to, and guarded the three-point line well, 6 for 30 as far as that. When it got close, seemed like we were obviously up 17-13 and kept getting down to single digits. We held our composure, never panicked. Guys made big shots, big plays, and we defended at the level to get it back up. Although it would go back down at times, it's a credit to the Heat team and Spoelstra and everything they're doing. They're obviously, I come from a San Antonio atmosphere, culture, environment, and this is one of those teams that has the same thing going on here, a certain standard no matter who's on the court. So we knew they were going to beat themselves, going to make it tough, and going to fight till the end. Championship team, they got there last year. So credit to our guys for bouncing back from that, keeping our composure, and finding a way to win it.
And you mentioned how sort of in the theme of your season that nothing is ever easy. What was going through your mind when Jimmy went down and pulled up for that 3 with 17 to go?
He's been making big shots throughout this whole series, especially last game and in Game 1. Came out in attack mode, and we had defended him, decent overall. I mean, he had a big first half, but we were much better in the second half. And he's just a guy that's made big shots and puts that team on his shoulders. So, not surprised by anything he's done. Played through pain and injury, and as well as the rest of their team. And we just came out a little bit more fresh tonight, and that's sometimes the luck of the series, luck of health, and how it goes.
Hey, man. You obviously had a vision for this team. You knew what you had, but they also had to buy in and get used to what you wanted them to do. Just getting to this point, just looking back on that, just how well did they do?
Yeah, you can't complain. You can't get any better than number 1 in defense and where we were on the season. So that was always pretty high level. And when everybody figured it out and got on the same page, we took off defensively. Had obviously several sustained games under 100 points and, blowouts due to that. And then the offense started clicking later. Guys understood what we were asking of them. Had some chemistry up and downs early with the COVID and injuries and all that. But once they got on the same page, can't complain about anything. Obviously, to get to this point, we had to flip the switch and turn around in a lot of ways. And guys were always receptive to coaching, to being coached hard, to being pushed, to being asked to do more. And that shows the character of our group. Young guys that really want to be pushed to grow and take the next step. They've all been here. And to get to the championship is obviously the next step. But now our focus is getting forward more.
Ime, your first-year coach leading your team to the finals. Will you smile about this? You're a serious dude. You do not let your emotions at all. Will you let your emotions go at all? Will you just focus to Golden State? How will you kind of digest this? Because this is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you take the task at hand seriously. And so before tonight, we're not thinking of Golden State or anything but getting this win and finishing out the series. You can't help but smile and enjoy the moment out there on the court. It's kind of forced upon you, and seeing the joy with the players, and it's all about those guys. So, happy for them, and obviously the accomplishment to get us all over the hump. I got spoiled my first 2 years in the league into back-to-back championships, but it's been a long time. Ben Sullivan was there last year, so we can kind of talk about that. But for Jalen, Jason, Marcus, the guys that were here, losing in some Eastern Conference Finals, it's great to see the joy on their face and that they've grown to this level where they're the veterans now that have to shoulder the load and could get us to this point. So happy for them, extremely happy for them. You smiled about it as we're going through it, and we're on the plane focusing on Golden State now.